Unknown, how's it going, man? Long time no see. In stream anyway. How you doing? I'm good, buddy. Today was a pretty good day. I'm not super tired, which is nice. Oh, how's it going, man? Kami, I appreciate you popping by. I know you're busy. Good luck on your thing. Good luck on your Dragonica, I want to say. I might have this wrong. Dragonica, I think. You stream when it's 4 a.m. here. We're waiting for your day stream so much. I'm sorry, buddy. Oh, no day streams for a while. No day streams on the weekend because I'm... we have some guests coming over on Saturday, and then I'm going out Sunday for the World Cup. In the morning, I'm going out to watch the Formula 1 Grand Prix, and then afternoon is World Cup finale. Nice. 9 months. Time to give it a kid down. You got it right. We almost lost one guy due to a bug. You can play him as a kind. Good thing you got multiple backup accounts. Let's go! Oh, this is huge. He doesn't have some of the stuff we got on the main account though, but fuck it, better than nothing. Yeah, listen, man. Listen, with the amount of experience you guys have, you guys should be okay. I can't imagine. Like, I'm sure there were some people who played, you know, after it was shut down on private servers, but you've got to be such a rare breed, dude. You know how rare it is to run across someone who does that shit. Like, it'd be like the same as meeting some, probably rarer even still, than like meeting someone who still plays Modern Warfare 2 on like old LAN servers that he keeps at, or like, you know, runs a league or whatever. Like, it's some crazy shit that's so rare. Okay, what is this word? BU. One guy got in front of us with his 99% chance we cheated and reported his dumbass. Better than us cheating immediately. What is this word? Hey, let's go! 5's not great, but it's fine. We'll take it. What is this word? B-U-T-T-E. An isolated hill with steep, often vertical sides and relatively small flat top. What the fuck? From penis to butt. The journey every man finds himself on, you know? Got 6 levels in front of us and like 8 hours of playtime. Oh, I see. Oh, like his progression was way too quick. Okay, I see what you mean. Ink, jet, toner, laser. I was thinking like types of printers. I don't know. So he gets the hang of it? Yeah, of course. Don't worry about us coming. You go do your thing, man. Go kill it. You're good. We got this. Well, I promise. I'm off. I'll watch. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Go enjoy your thing. Go kill it. You're good. Clay mask, eye cream, toner, toner. What is the last one? Charcoal. Thinking charcoal with toner. Fuck. Oh, this is so good. How is the COI story? It's not depressing playing, but Volume 6 is starting to drag. It's been dragging for like 30 chapters, 30, 40 chapters now. Maybe a bit longer. Like, I'm honestly kind of looking forward to like, okay, in like 60 chapters or whatever, it's done. Like, I just gotta make it like another week and then we'll be done. Because you gotta understand, there's so much left to wrap up, man. There's so much to do in the story. And you're gonna try to tell me we're gonna finish Lord of the Mysteries, resolve everything that is left to do the fucking calamity, do the apocalypse, solve it, beat back the great old ones, do all of this in 200 chapters? Bro, that's not that much. Like, you see what I mean, right? Like,
If you wanna go ahead, free to do whatever. I'm chilling on my bed. I'm out in my biz, so mind your own biz.
Pitch Perfect,
We can flow with the hey,
Dot Matrix, Bullseye, Laser. Exciting, it is exciting that I'm gonna be dead so soon. Yeah. Okay, it's been a while since I've played this, so hold on. I just gotta find it. It's been a while since I've played this, so don't judge my score, okay? And if you guys want to play along, please do. Or, like, play and let me know what your score was, okay? .823, that's not bad, that's not bad. I'll take it. It's a score out of 1,000, obviously, so 820, like 82%, we'll take it. Don't say ew. Don't, okay, Chris, right now, do it right now. If you're gonna say ew, do it right now. And if your score isn't at least 850, I'm gonna take your fucking mod away for the stream. Right now. That wasn't to you? A likely story. Sounds like someone's scared of my score. That's what it sounds like to me. Fuck, no, then he just takes my rook, idiot. We caught up to the anime in 6 days. Oh, I could just... Man, I could just watch the Mushoku Tensei anime and just be done with it. And react to it like a normie instead of putting in all this work. More to plague for the reincarnated... I see. Yes, I agree. I agree. I have the same problem in Mushoku Tensei that I'm betting most of you do. protagonist is a fucking just a ugh. Don't play. Plague, I like you, buddy. Don't do this to yourself. Have some self-respect. Come on. Dude, he's like damn near a pedophile. Come on. And I am being generous by giving him damn near here. Here. Oh, yeah. That's the character growth. Huge character arc. Hello, Uth. How's it going? See, Uth, you asked me to finish COI quickly. Chapter 1000 already. I would be like a week behind this pace right now because I'd be doing like 6 or 7 chapters a day. 6, 7. I'm just kidding. God, the brain. If I ever get like Alzheimer's or dementia or some shit, the brain rot is all that's gonna remain. Fuck. That was good. That was a good run though. As I did from Rudius in Volume 6. Plague. Have you forgotten Moon City? Have you forgotten the City of Silver? How dare you? Write this in chat. Plague. What's happening? Buddy, are you okay? Do you need to talk? I'm here. I misclicked. I thought I would. Hey there, how's it going, man? Hell yeah, brother. Fuck. I'm putting that on hey there. He distracted me. I didn't even... Here. Fuck. Good. Yeah, just eating. How's your day? My day was pretty good, man. Good day. Good day at work. Only one day to one more day before the weekend, and then next week I'm coaching. I'm just mentoring again. I'm doing half a day's worth of work for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then mentoring in the afternoons, and then Thursday, Friday I'm just mentoring. So next week's gonna be easy. Laughing, easy work. Yeah, should be fun. Hopefully I get some good news next week. I don't want to say what, but hopefully I get some good news. Let's go! Get fucking rolled, American idiot! Canadian fucking education go brrr. Alright, let us start reading, ladies and gentlemen. Room, I suppose. Harsh sounds so dejected. He's like, fuck, I've got to do this. Dude, you don't have to. It's fine. It's not a big sweat. Kami's just going to come back, call us both bums, and then move on with his day. It's fine. By the way, does anyone here watch Dara streams, by the way? Like, I try to show up occasionally. She streams late for me, not late, but late enough that I try not to be watching YouTube videos at that point, because I'm like, Bald Harsh, let's go, baby. We got Bald Harsh in the building. Let's go. Wiz, no one notices me but you. Hell yeah, brother. I'm here. I got you. I got you. She just read me shook it. That's how I got through one volume a day. Dude, a volume a day is nutsy pace. Even at my most unemployed, nothing to do, I don't think I could do a volume a day. That's genuinely crazy. Okay, boys, let's get to chapter 1000. Holy shit. And then from here, it's just baby steps. We got like what, 170, 180 chapters to go from after today? What is that, 17 days of reading? You know, maybe the ending is coming and then you guys are like, no, listen, the last 30 chapters have to be read together. Maybe that's like, boop. You know, maybe that cuts off a couple of days. Think about it. That's not that much, man. There's it's not a good chance, but there's a small chance we finish COI before the end of the month. It's very unlikely, like it's gonna be like first week mid into August or whatever, but that's crazy good. After suspecting that Zaratul had replaced the teachers at the Dream tutoring class and the Star tutoring classes to target the image of Gehrman, who didn't actually exist in the Dream City, LEMMiNO and the others discussed this for quite a while, but still couldn't figure out the significance and the purpose of doing so. They decided to write a letter which Frank and Jenna would bring to the Star Dream Provision Store tomorrow to mail out, to see what the major arcana holders thought. I'll be back to telling which chapters need to be read together. Okay, cool. As they stood up preparing to leave the rented apartment, Frank remembered something and asked, "You said earlier that Frank's pregnancy was because of Grimm's cognition, and that the Amibala bloodline within you and the Celestial Worthy subconscious taking dominance because of the Mushoku Hospital environment." Dude, we've been talking about Mushoku Tensei so much, instead of Mushu Hospital, I said Mushoku Hospital. Sorry. Because of Mushu Hospital's environment, equating you with a child of God, Amibella in the dream, making your casual comment, he's already pregnant, become reality. So as the child of God, can he now use beyond her powers as a planter, apothecary, and heretic spellmaster pathway? What? Uth, I don't know any answers to any Mushoku questions, man. What are you asking me? Franka's eyes gleamed over, feeling this had a bit of I guess this went well flavor to it. Of course, this I referred to the dream subconscious. As long as the dream subconscious believed it, anything could happen. Lumin tried to see if he could use their abilities related to vampire, harvest priest, and the heretic spellmaster, but everything failed. Nah. Maybe just possible within the hospital, Franka said. Jenna reminded, if that really is the case, frequent visits to the hospital may cause you to become more and more like Amibella until you are equivalent. Be careful. How sinister is the Great Mother's style, making people fall into traps unknowingly. Sometimes being vigilant seems rather useless. Judging by the name, perhaps the Great Mother symbolizes the yin and the darkness in the term yin-yang. The next day, which was Sunday, Lumin again brought Ludwig to the dream tutoring class, which, while sending the child into the classroom, he secretly observed the front desk. Every teacher he encountered with Anderson, with his eye of calamity. Except for the latter, the Mercury's colored river of fate corresponding to the others all showed a black color representing death at some point in the past. Some of these black patches had become blurred while others were clear, flowing through the illusory river. Indeed, reborn people. Do you like... Oh, I like Lilith way more unknown. My goat showed up for a quick second, killed a god, and said, peace out. Really showing us girl power here? The two women showed up and said, gotta combat, get a load of this fucking loser, and just yoinked them. Just as he was about to contemplate how to handle this, he saw Zhou Mingrui wearing a loose sky blue t-shirt walking towards him. How dedicated to still remember to come to business class after witnessing Zaratul being shot. As fellow employees of the Intis group who had met more than once, this was expected courtesy. Lumin stood up to greet Zhou. Seeing this, Zhou returned the greeting. Just when Lumin thought everything had gone smoothly, Zhou stopped and said, has Mr. Da resigned? I haven't seen him since I've come recently. You know Mr. Da, right? Yes, Da Nizi. I brought my child here to enroll after seeing the flyers he handed out, Lumin answered. He had expected Zhou to casually initiate a conversation with him, even asking about the Oracle. Stimulated by the Zaratul incident, has Zhou started to become more actively explore the hidden anomalies around him, more boldly engaging with us problematic people, and thus discovering that Danitz had gone missing? This is good news, but I guess there's also a downside. As he continues to explore, who knows when me and my team may get kicked out of the dream, like Mr. Kui. Before Zhou could explain further, he sighed. Mr. Da didn't resign. He passed away. Eh? Klein said. His shock and surprise was on his face. When? What happened to him? I heard from Miss I that he seemed to have encountered a psychopathic killer and was strangled. At first, Miss I and Mr. Anderson thought he was just missing, and later they didn't have much confidence in Mr. Da's ability to survive alone, so they reported it to the police. Later, after searching, the police found that Mr. Da in the underground morgue of Mushu Hospital. Killed? Zhou's eyes flickered as he fell into deep thought. Yes, the body was discovered in the underground morgue of the Mushu Hospital, Lumin emphasized, trying to guide Zhou to notice the anomalies in the hospital. The killer deliberately sent Mr. Da's body to the morgue? Klein asked. I don't know if it was the killer, but it could have been a passerby who discovered the body and sent it there. How? A passerby who sees a body would obviously call the police, Zhou said. But why would the killer have to send the corpse to a morgue of the Mushu Hospital? Did he think it wouldn't be discovered there? But why would he think that? Lumin was responsible for raising questions, emphasizing the Mushu Hospital, but not providing any answers. Zhou nodded and pointed to the English classroom. I'm going in now. All right, Lumin said. He leaned against the classroom wall as his thoughts spread. The secret replacement of teachers at the tutoring classes is quite difficult to resolve. If this were in the real world, I would find an opportunity to blow up the underground part of the Mushu hospital, completely eliminating the danger. But in this dream city, with the underground part of the hospital being the psychological trauma of a great existence, the infiltration point of the great existences, I'm afraid even the owner of the Star Dreams provision store in Stianos didn't dare venture easily here. Using the Eye of Calamity to distinguish whether the target was a reborn person, should we kill all those who were reborn? I'm confident I could cover up the traces and not be discovered if I kill one, but so many. Who knows? Do they think the Dream City's police department or Chief Yagates are dead? This would be openly challenging the Dream's main consciousness. Moreover, with Huang Jiaji and the others being related to the identity of Gehrman, if they all exit the stage, it may bring about an unfavorable change. Report it? Without sufficient clues, it would just end up with no response. What clues could I give to the police? I hope the Major Arcana holders can provide some help. As Lumen's thoughts became more and more scattered, he caught sight of Klein coming out of the classroom with his phone and walking to the restroom. Lumen tilted his head, using his hunter ears to eavesdrop on what Klein was saying. He heard Joe ask in surprise, "Weren't you scheduled to come on Monday? Why has it been postponed to Wednesday?" He heard from the other end of the phone a faint female voice. "I thought about it. You have to work during the week and can't take me out, so I may as well just go directly to report in." "I have annual leave," Klein said after he was silent for a moment. "It's fine, you can take me out on the weekend," the female said. "Alright then. What time is your train on Wednesday?" Aw, Klein has someone too? Who could this be? According to the information provided by the Major Arcana holders, Zhou's sister, Sasha, had been admitted to the university at Yangdu and was about to come here to study. Oh, okay. Sasha is about to arrive in Yangdu next Wednesday? As one of the dream manifestations closest to Zhou, what changes will she bring? At the dream store, Frank and Jenna, who had taken a taxi, walked into the dimly lit interior of the shop. The former politely asked the shop owner if they could mail a letter, and the latter lingered in the entrance area, both examining the antiques. After getting the shop's permission, Frank had turned to the shelf and dropped off the letter into a silver-inlaid black mailbox. Her gaze swept the area and noticed the pride armor that once belonged to her sitting at the edge of the store. The surface of the armor was somehow stained with patches and spots of dark blood. Just seeing it gave Frank a feeling of weakening. It's become even more sinister. Frank didn't dare ask the shop owner what the hell had happened to the armor so quickly. At that moment, Jenna raised her hand slightly, discreetly pointing at the diagonally opposite side of the street. Those perched on the branch of a street. There, perched on the branch of a street tree, was a white pigeon. Do you think the fucking characteristic of Bladel or Bladel? I can't. I feel like there's a character named Bladel and a character named Badel, and that's really confusing. Can you imagine the fucking anger his characteristic is feeling right now? He's like, motherfucker, god damn it, what the fuck is going on here? Lu Shan sat in a cafe near the police station, monitoring Frank and Jenna's whereabouts using a white pigeon she had modified. She had drawn her own mark on the pigeon, as well as hidden a miniature camera. By wearing sunglasses and receiving the device drawn on them, she could obtain the corresponding signal, and at the same time use the connection between the painter and the painting to drive the corresponding mark directing the pigeon. Of course, this had to be maintained within a certain distance. Seeing Frank and Jenna come out of the store, Lu Shan quickly had the white pigeons follow them. After a while, she found that the two targets were approaching the police station, and her heart skipped a beat. But her anxiety didn't last long, as Frank and Jenna only came to the street and didn't walk into the cafe door where she was. Just as Lu Shan breathed a sigh of relief, she saw Frank and Jenna, who were already 5 or 6 steps away from the cafe, disappear into thin air. What? Suddenly, 2 people sat opposite her. "Why were you monitoring us?" Jenna asked. Frank had put 2 mirrors in her hand on the coffee table, creating a mirror maze. "I wanted to see what you were doing. If you were deceiving me. If you were bad people." The after effects of the talk about the dreamscape, eh? I wonder if the mirror maze can deceive a reporter's ability to explore the truth. Doubt it. How to guard against this? Communicate only on the phone and delete chats via the information shredder? No, except for Lumion, Jenna, and Anthony and Ludwig don't speak Chinese. Phone communication is done through the voice conversation, which can be heard. Bottle of Fiction probably can't do it either, unless it's the realm of mysteries. Suddenly, she had a flash of inspiration and said, "You can follow us openly. You can watch from the side if you want. It's just that some things will be more dangerous. We may not be able to protect you or ourselves. If we're going to face this kind of thing, we'll tell you in advance, and you can weigh whether you want to follow us or not. We're going to a place to confirm whether certain people have become fake. Do you wish to come with us?" Confirm if they're fake? What the fuck does that even mean? Lushan hesitated for a moment and said, "I'll go." Franca laughed and said, "It is a good thing that you have the ability to explore the truth. You can intuitively help us confirm, without us having to devise a dangerous plan." She didn't know if Lumin's Eye of Calamity could discover the problem with Huang Jiaji, Ainana, and the others, so she planned to use the reporter's ability. This way, they may even discover the aspects in which the fake people were fake, and thus obtain key evidence. Moreover, Jenna had previously told Franca that since Lushan had already knew the current fuck me, Jesus. I just dropped my phone. 1 second. That since Lushan already knew the current state of the world was a dream, and was in a state of unwillingness to believe, full of doubt and unable to deceive herself. There shouldn't be delay, lest she did something stupid because of it, or her mental state became problematic and exploited by that evil god. Jenna felt that having already chosen to be honest and truthful, they should continue the style. On the one hand, stabilize Lushan's mental and emotional state through psychological treatment, and on the other, let Lushan's face the truth step by step, under their control, confirm the facts, and not let her imagine, try, or do things blindly. In other words, when problems had already appeared and couldn't be avoided, it was better to place them under one's own control and release them with precautions, rather than letting the problems develop on their own. So for something that should be done with the mystery prying glasses, they chose to ask Lushan for help. Outside, star tutoring classes, Franca and Jenna brought Lushan to a white car that was unlocked and unoccupied. Anthony, who had just received a WeChat message from Franca, was standing nearby, ready to treat Lushan if needed. "This is?" Lushan asked. Our companion drove it over to convenience our observation. "LEMMiNO, who played the cards with us?" Lushan asked. Sort of. Jenna had no intention of letting the spectator onto the stage. After a while, they saw Huang Jiaji walk out of the star tutoring class. "It's her," Franca pointed. Lushan raised her right hand through the car window and pinched the sides of her eye sockets. She then saw the person overlapping with windows, street trees, and cars, and a large number of invisible threads floating from the target body extending to the air. Threads tying the target's joints and organs. With the pulling of these strings, the target made the corresponding movements. Like a puppet on strings, Lushan's hair stood on end. When she had explored the truth before, she hadn't seen anything like this before. Taking advantage of the time she had, she observed the passing pedestrians, seeing that all these pedestrians had a large number of invisible threads floating to the sky. But these threads were all loose, without the tension of pulling the human body. Lushan's body tensed. "It's indeed more fake," she said. "What are the specific details?" Jenna tried to ask. Franca sent a message to Anthony, closely monitor her state. Lushan described in a floating voice the scene she had seen and the comparisons between the target and the normal people. During the process, Anthony, who was in disguise, pretended to be a middle-aged man smoking by the roadside, drawing closer to Lushan, quietly using placate. After Lushan finished, she fell silent, not uttering a word. Jenna and Franca looked at her sympathetically, temporarily not starting a new topic, awaiting Anthony's notification. Only when Anthony said it was okay would they speak. "I want to go to the North City Cemetery," Lushan said. "Okay," Franca agreed. At the same time, she received a message from Anthony that said the target's emotional state has stabilized to an extent, but still remains in a state of negativity, pessimism, and despair. Don't talk about anything. Any casual words of the situation may stimulate her. Only answer when she speaks. Franca forwarded the message to Jenna, and this car began to drive in silence. After the vehicle arrived at the North City overpass, Lushan, who seemed to have become a clay puppet, muttered, In the world outside, is there another me?" Yes, Jenna answered. Lushan fell silent again. Finally, the car arrived at the cemetery. Lushan pressed her hand on the door handle and said, "I'll go in by myself. Don't follow." "Okay," they all said. Lushan opened the door and put one foot in front of the other. At this moment, she half turned her body and asked, "Are you here to awaken Zhou Mingrui?" "Yes." "If he isn't awakened, will everything be destroyed when the apocalypse comes, including the stream? And the apocalypse is only a few years away." "Why did he need to sleep?" Lushan asked. "To fight an evil force," Franca explained, consistent with the core of the story she had made up before. "Has that force been defeated, so Zhou can be awakened?" What? Hearing this, both Jenna and Franca were shocked. They looked at each other, unable to answer. Yes, if the Celestial Worthy's consciousness had been defeated, Mr. Fool could wake up on his own. And if he hadn't been defeated, how would forcibly awakening him be any different than what happened before he went to sleep? Or does the act of awakening itself symbolize the defeat of the Celestial Worthy? If Mr. Fool waking up while the Celestial Worthy is asleep, will there be a change in power? Will the scales of victory tilting to Mr. Fool? If this guess is right, that's great, but if it's wrong, doesn't it mean our direction is wrong? The major arcana holders have always focused on awakening, but maybe we should actually just be weakening the Celestial Worthy. We are still in a state to figure out the situation. We're unsure if that evil force has been defeated yet, Jenna answered. Lushan bit her lip and didn't ask any more questions. She got out of the car completely and walked to the cemetery, buying 2 bunches of white chrysanthemums from the flower shop attached. Walking slowly, her figure disappeared amongst the tombstones. I'm ending on 1,000, yeah. At the Jinhong district, in a rented apartment, Franca recounted the results of Lushan's observation and the questions she raised, finally saying, "The more I think about it, the more I feel something is amiss. The major arcana holders clearly mention in their materials that Mr. Fool went to sleep to fight the Celestial Worthy. So why are they solely focused on awakening Mr. Fool instead of helping to weaken the Celestial Worthy? And we too, with sufficient background information, never considered this, as if we had been bewitched." One hell of a cliffhanger then, let's go! Everyone thought of one simple term: fooled. In the unspeakable silence, only Ludwig was unaffected, munching on his boiled corn. After contemplation, Jenna asked, "Perhaps the act of awakening Mr. Fool itself will awaken the Celestial Worthy and strengthen us. If this symbolism holds true, then we shouldn't have completely overlooked the direction of weakening the Celestial Worthy to help Mr. Fool. Does that mean this direction is correct, so the dream fooled everyone to prevent us of even thinking of that?" But there's no better end. Yeah, that's fine. No. 1,000 even's a good place to stop. It's okay. Not necessarily. That Celestial Worthy is the being at the very top of the Swindler pathway. Initially fooling us to prevent us from considering the possibility of weakening him might be to make us believe it is the only correct path that we've made some progress on in our later exploration, causing us to rush headlong into it. The enemy's opposition indicates we're doing the right thing, but what if the enemy is deliberately opposing, feigning weakness in strength? "How do we choose?" Franca asked. "Why choose? Awakening Mr. Fool and weakening the Celestial Worthy are 2 things we can do at the same time." How hard would you crash out? I mean, no more so. That's an interesting question, right, Hope? How would you react if someone said your whole life was just in someone's dream? Realistically, that could just be true, right? So easily, no? You'd just be like, couldn't you just wake up and be like, technically, if you believe in the concept of a god or whatever, or, you know, whatever you want to call it, couldn't you just say that the universe is like God's dream? Because in essence, how is it any different? If an all-powerful God exists, on a whim, couldn't he just go, "You know what? These humans are actually fucking this whole thing out. They're actually annoying as fuck. Gone." Like, in principle, what am I supposed to do with this info? Like, it's completely... it's completely unusable information. It's like when someone says like, oh, the billionaires, man, they control the government. Yeah, fucking probably, dude. I'm supposed to do what about it? What do you want me to do with this information? Like, I just don't think it would affect me that much. I'd be like, damn, that kind of like absurdism, I guess. But like beyond that, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Your river team and Harsh your jungle team? I'm sorry, can I get some context on what that is referring to? God, it is hot for LARPing. Oh, okay, cool. I appreciate you. River team, I'll remember that. Got it. If you're free, maybe after stream we can I'll be in LARPing for a bit. I don't know. Are you working this week? Okay, by the way, Sal, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Volume 6 is kind of fucking dragging. So a little bit, I'm starting to understand. But go to sleep. We'll do it tomorrow. Sal. Go to sleep. 23 hours? You fucking nuts, mate. No. Go to sleep. Damn, man. He's not gonna sleep, boys. Bushcar will jump you? What? Why? What did I do? Yeah, but yeah, so honestly, Volume 6 is kind of starting to drag. So listen, I don't want to say you're right, because I haven't gotten to that point, but shit, damn, man. It's starting to get fucking... Oh, I actually got this at the wedding I attended last weekend, and my room gets hot, and so like I don't want to have the AC running because it affects my microphone quality because of the fucking suppressor thing I have to have on. So unless it's too hot, I'll just use this for the time until I lose this or break it. Very likely break it. Don't say demoness whiz, okay? A fan can be used by anyone. Don't make it all weird. He stood up and began pacing across the living room. Do a Lumion cosplay post of Volume 5 is such a cool... LEMMiNO, you mean, bro? Energy drink and vodka peak. Absolutely agreed. Let's reanalyze the possible goals Zaratul wanted to achieve with those goals. Contacting Zhou was likely to find a way to make Zhou drink the subsequent potion, become a witch, thus creating a long-term fixed mirror person, and to some extent, fake client self-perception. Bye, Sal. Thank you so much for coming, man. Sal and Unknown are both leaving? What the fuck? Alright. Bye, guys. Have a good night. I need to wake up for work. Jesus Christ, yeah. Go to bed, man. All good. Good night. Sal, I'll be done COI in like 3 weeks tops, motherfucker. Okay, you better be ready, bitch. The merger and the reconstruction negotiation with the Intus Group was to obtain money and resources, using the mirrored Roselle to erode and influence Huang Tao for the same purpose. Eliminating and replacing the dream manifestation related to Gehrman's life experience may be to awaken, or maybe to weaken the world, indirectly weakening Mr. Fool. These actions currently don't show any intent of awakening the Celestial Worthy, though accumulated money and resources barely count. Baldy. Okay, Jesus. Unknown, go to bed. Oh my god. No, creating a fixed mirror person for Klein would also be the Celestial Worthy to gain more initiative through the mirror person, gradually gaining the upper hand and thus awakening. Eliminating the dream manifestation related to Gehrman is to weaken Mr. Fool, but replacing them with his own people and taking away GIU to later confuse the real with the fake, making the world identity point to the Celestial Worthy instead of Mr. Fool, also kind of awakening. However, these awakenings all come with the weakening Mr. Fool. The two can't be separated. But how could we possibly weaken the Celestial Worthy, Franca said. Chris, what was your earlier message? Sorry? The 1001 to 1011 tomorrow or whatever? The major arcana holders didn't know about the Celestial Worthy's past situation, nor did they mention which character in the Dream City was closely related to the Celestial Worthy. Franca couldn't find a target to weaken the Celestial Worthy, and there was no starting point. Currently, only Peng Deng is suspected to be related to the Celestial Worthy, but he can't even be confirmed yet, Anthony said. What can be is that he definitely has a special status in the city. Actually, there was one place confirmed to be related to the Celestial Worthy. Mushu Hospital. Without a close relationship, without a prior cooperation, the Celestial Worthy wouldn't send the corpses of Gehrman's related dream manifestations to the morgue of Mushu Hospital, letting them be reborn. That kind of rebirth would cause the corresponding manifestation to become the Celestial Worthy's puppet. The underground part of Mushu Hospital. This was where the psychological trauma of a great existence materialized, the key node for other great existences to infiltrate their power, the place where the Celestial Worthy created exclusive marionettes, a place that even true gods dare not enter. I'll be contacting an important person from Mushu Hospital tonight to see if I can gain any intel. Late at night, Harsh. Dude, W Harsh, bro. Thank you. You're doing so good. Kami would be so happy. Kami would be so proud of you. Lushan chose to lie down on the bed, trying to enter deep sleep. If the world doesn't explode, I won't take a holiday, even if this is a dream. Before the dream shatters, I must go to work when I need to, I guess. Then Lushan closed her eyes and after a while suppressed her thoughts and emotions, falling asleep. This time, she didn't immediately enter the shaman world to continue guarding the barrier, but became muddle-headed, like when she slept before becoming a beyonder. She vaguely heard an echoing in her ears. Truth can become false. Falsehood can become true. The Celestial Worthy of heaven and earth for blessing. Truth can become false. Falsehoods can become true. The Celestial Worthy of heaven and earth for blessing. At the edge of the Crimson Moon Hospital, in a secluded corner growing many mushrooms, LEMMiNO transformed into a demoness of despair and walked into a blouse, patiently waiting for them for a while. He saw Grimm suddenly appear not far ahead of a person. With a person. Respected child of God, this is Lu Longyan, the Dean of Obstetrics at Mushu Hospital, Grimm introduced. She is also a child of the mother. She was carrying a medical box and bowed slightly to LEMMiNO. Praise the mother, and praise you, child of God. The important person from Mushu Hospital LEMMiNO had previously said he wanted to meet was precisely this dean. Grimm was quite true to his words. As soon as the 1-week deadline was met, he sent a message to LEMMiNO, reminding him that tonight he should go help Frank with the reproduction, both mystically and scientifically. LEMMiNO hadn't rushed to abort the fetus in Frank's belly, precisely because he wanted to fool Grimm, to avoid reaching the point of needing to put up an act to cover up. After this, he would have at least 2 or 3 weeks to perform the operation. Hearing the greeting, LEMMiNO nodded and said, "Let's go in and take care of business." He didn't rush to inquire about the internal matters of the hospital. This had to be done slowly, with proper groundwork, thinking through which things the child of God should already know, need not be asked about. "Yes, child of God," they both responded. LEMMiNO walked towards them and grabbed their shoulders, then activated the mark on his shoulder, using spirit world traversal, to appear outside Frank's room. Frank, who had been touching his belly, lost in thought, sat up, and the jelly-like mushroom on the ceiling sank. Seeing Frank look at him with a surprise, LEMMiNO winked at him, hinting there was a reason for this, and to play along. "You're here to help me?" Hearing this, Grimm couldn't help but turn his head to the child of God. When did she manage to deceive Frank? Grimm and Lu Yong'an had both anticipated needing to use their abilities to control the target. Lu sat down next to Frank's bed with her medical box and began an examination. The fetus is quite healthy and developing very quickly. As expected of you, Grim said. Lumen was already numb to this, nodding slightly, focusing on Lou taking out a syringe, drawing some kind of drug, and injecting Frank in the belly. Then Lou's maternal radiance became even more obvious as she began to virtually caress Frank's belly with both hands. Lumen saw Frank's belly began to swell and enlarge at a visible rate. In just a minute or two, he looked like he was 6 months pregnant. "I can feel the heartbeat," Frank said. "Child of God, come again in 2 weeks and we can enter the stage of imminent birth." "Excellent," Lumen nodded. "I'd have to take care of this soon. The sooner the better," Lumen thought. "We'll be leaving now," Lumen instructed. He then teleported back to the secluded corner with both of them. "How were things inside the hospital?" Lumen asked. He had planned to ask vaguely at first in the tone of a child of God wanting to get feedback of his subordinates. Lou replied kindly. "The underground area is almost finished being renovated, and the above ground, it's still just us few who frequently enter and exit the underground." "It's almost renovated. Those who frequently enter and exit the underground don't count as people?" Lumen thought of the Mushu Hospital orderly he had encountered before and the situations he had observed during the several visits to Mushu Hospital. He felt that those who frequently entered and exited the underground of the hospital may truly no longer be considered human. More than this, what concerned him was that the underground part of the hospital was nearly renovated. What does this symbolize? What changes had occurred? Amidst these thoughts, Lumen wished he could go blow up the underground of the hospital right now and be done with it. Unfortunately, leaving aside about whether he could even break into the underground and destroy it, just the fact that the above-ground part of the hospital was still relatively normal, with many patients and staff coming and going, prevented him from acting rashly. There was no way to blow up the underground without affecting the above-ground. That would turn him into a full-blown terrorist, causing Lumen to be dejected by the dream's main consciousness to the greatest extent. First, think of a way to get into the hospital and to get it to stop admitting patients for a few days and transfer away the current ones. This has been nearly impossible. Are there any corpses waiting for rebirth in the morgue? Not at the moment. No one has brought corpses needing rebirth in the last couple of days. After Zaratul and Mr. Quaywood kicked out, did the activities stop? This shows we're doing well. Theoretically, the Celestial Worthy should have more subordinates and should have found a way to continue his plans. Were the others kicked out as well? Like the major arcana holders and the former lucky coins? That's right. There's no reason why the Celestial Worthy would only recently have subordinates who could enter. No reason why in the past he could kick people and Mr. Fool couldn't. Who is the current dean of the hospital? Lumion asked. You don't know? Lou asked, with a look of surprise. You didn't tell her? She turned to Grim. I don't know either. No one told me. Grim shook his head. Lou was stunned. It's normal, I suppose, but it doesn't matter. The previous dean has left, and not knowing who it is doesn't affect anything. The new dean will arrive shortly. Who is it? Grim asked. It is unclear. We'll know when they arrive. Perhaps it will be a surprise. How does that even make any sense? Who says, you don't know? What? You don't know? Yeah, I don't know either. What is this line of fucking conversation? Lumion nodded and said, have you been to the underground areas other than the morgue? I've been there, but can't go deep. Can't go to B2. Lou didn't think anything wrong about telling the child of God after all this. After all, the underground part of the hospital didn't belong solely to the Great Mother, but the other existences also exerted influence over there. Even children of the Great Mother can't go to B2. What the hell is over there? Are the Mother Tree's followers doing something? Yes, but I don't know what, Lou said. Child of God, we should add each other on WeChat. If I discover any issues, I'll let you know. Lumin let Lulong scan his WeChat code. Her WeChat name was just her real name. Lumin didn't rush to go through her moments and asked, "Have you found Zadis?" Supposedly the true name of the abscessed hand. "Not yet," Lu answered. "Mother is very disappointed. Zadis is so close to the Great Mother, eh?" Grim answered, "Child of God, starting tomorrow you're on the night shift rotation. If you don't want to work it, I can find an excuse to switch you." "Night shift is fine," Lumin said. Then he glanced at the high moon and said to Grim, "Head back." "Yes." They both responded. Lumin didn't see them off, but teleported away. After about a quarter of an hour, his figure appeared in the secluded corner, where Grim and Lu had already left. Only then did Lumin take out his phone and look through Lu's moments. The moments of this dean of the hospital mostly shared obstetrics and gynecology knowledge, instances of receiving thank you banners, achievements of the hospital, and updates of her own children. Because she had set it to show the most recent month, Lumin could only return to the top of her moments and look at her background settings and personal signature. The background set to a blurry silhouette holding a baby and her personal signature. "Be a guardian for women and children." Quite fitting, I suppose. Lumin put away the phone and teleported to Frank. Frank wasn't surprised by this woman's return and said, "Do we really have to get rid of it?" Lumin simply chuckled. "You must have already felt the frenzied absorption of your flesh and spirit by this child, right?" "Yes." "Then don't you want to know what innovative qualities may emerge from the crossbreeding of an evil god's offspring in the mushrooms?" "Yes! Let's do it!" Frank said. "Could you at least hesitate a bit? Jesus." Lumin grumbled inwardly as he returned to Frank's bedside, extended his palm and said, "It'll be quite painful. Bear with it." "Okay," Frank said. The fungal filaments hanging down from the jellyfish quietly floated down, wrapping around Lee's arm. "It has some anesthetic ability," Lee said happily. Lumin didn't speak, letting his palm ignite with a quiet, sinister black flame, then pressed it against the surface of Frank's belly. The flames of the demoness bored into it. Frank's highly protruding belly began to writhe as if something inside was struggling desperately. Along with this, Frank's face twisted. Even with the anesthetic, he experienced unspeakable pain. Meanwhile, the flames of the demoness dimmed and thinned. Even as Lumin continued to pour them in, they couldn't truly burn away the vile thing. Fortunately, Lumin had never thought from the beginning that the demoness flames could be enough, because one of his objectives was something that the demoness flames, which only burned spirit and life, couldn't do. Using the demoness flames was mainly to probe. "Hey, Uth, we're happy to have you, buddy. I know. Listen, I get it. Listen, reading what I'm reading is already rough enough for me, let alone for you guys as well, for whatever reasons. But Jesus, even just reading this personally is like, ugh." The flames of destruction poured in. The clothes on Frank's belly burst into flames, as did his skin and flesh. The fetus in his belly pushed up as if trying to escape the flames, but currently unable to break free from the constraints of the mother's body. Almost simultaneously, Lumin heard illusory sounds and weeping and screaming, feeling as if a vast green wilderness had appeared around him, where every flower and blade of grass grew vigorously, full of life and engulfed by black flames. Frank screamed in agony, the pain of having his abdomen burned. However, Lumin had already used the bottle of fiction to seal off the room, allowing only faint traces of Frank's voice to seep out. Not something worth paying attention to in a psychiatric ward. Finally, the fetus in Frank's belly turned to ash, and these ashes, affected by the convection winds of the high temperatures of the flames, swirled up to the air, flying to the ceiling and scattering. Eliminated. Lumin stepped back and prepared to take out a healing agent for Frank. Frank glanced at his charred abdomen and said, "It's all gone? I only wished to burn its life and spirit initially, leaving the body. But you saw, that didn't work," Lumin explained. "Ah." Frank waved his hand, directing the filaments of the jellyfish-like mushroom to move into his abdomen, absorbing the charred parts. "Looks like I don't need to provide any treatment," Lumin thought. After Frank's wounds had healed and the pain subsided, Lumin nodded and said rest for a couple of days, then to speed up the pace of your research. My friend may not be able to last long. I can start again tomorrow, Frank said. Thank you, Lumin replied. Returning to his apartment in the Jinhong district, he sat down on the bed. And in a hazy state, he heard calling. The crying voice was calling, Mommy! Filled with intense pain, unwillingness, and resent. Lumin heard the crying calls coming from the darkness, shrill and pitiful. Suddenly, black flames that suppressed madness and destruction ignited on Lumin's body. Flames spreading to the surroundings, burning away all the darkness and everything within. The calls became piercing and then dissipated. If you had called me father, I may have been a bit reluctant and affectionate, but why Mommy? Who are you trying to fool? Lumin laughed. As he finished muttering, the surrounding darkness scattered, inch by inch, and Lumin woke up. I was dreaming? The fetus that died at my hands latched onto me? Your mother is Ami Bella. What does it have to do with me? Lumin grumbled a few words, then reached for his phone, selecting Grim, and said, I heard the cries of my child, who encountered a disaster. Someone must have helped Frank. After sending this message, Lumin copied the content and sent it to Lou as well. Within 20 seconds, Lou answered, Should we go to the hospital now? It is too late. The matter is over, Lumin said. Rushing now could very likely lead us to a trap set by the enemy. What has been done cannot be undone. Wait until tomorrow, or maybe the day after, until we are sure there is no ambush. Then go investigate, find the culprit, and find a way to remedy this. How wise, Lou answered. At this time, Grim responded, expressing the same meaning as Lou's words. After reassuring Grim, Lumin was about to go back to sleep when he saw a message from Lou. Child of God, I just saw someone standing outside the hospital from my window. Who? Lumin asked. It's Zhou Mingrui. The plot chickens! Zhou, such a strong initiative. Having only learned of the Oracle's death appearing in the Mushu Hospital underground during the day and wanting to sneak in to investigate at night? So rash. Lumin became fully alert, all traces of sleep gone. He brought the phone to his mouth and said, Don't worry about it for now. Notify me when Zhou enters the hospital. Outside the hospital, Klein, still wearing a sky blue t-shirt, pretending to make a phone call while casually surveying his surroundings. After learning of Danitz's death and confirming the relevant details, Zhou felt the hospital seemed to have many issues, especially the underground morgue. So when the night fell, he took a taxi here, planning to pretend to seek emergency treatment while casually touring the hospital. He hadn't planned to investigate the underground morgue today. He didn't want to take the potentially significant risk. While saying words like, okay, no problem, alright, can do, and that's it, Zhou's gaze swept across the emergency center, across the patients and family members coming and going, but he couldn't see anything unusual. This wasn't actually his first time at this hospital. He had come here for treatment before, as it was one of the closest hospitals to his workplace and residence. It had only been open for a few years, so whether the emergency or outpatient services, there weren't many people. No long queues. The district-level hospitals closer to his residence he felt wasn't very reliable, and the other hospitals around were always overcrowded. The only difference from last time was that the hospital's reputation was growing, and more people came and went. A good thing I recovered midway from having some health issues after listening to heavy metal and thinking of coming here for treatment, because there weren't so many people, Zhou recalled. Thinking of this, he had a realization. That sick leave made me miss the formal meeting with Zaratul, and I didn't actually enter the hospital. My hearing the song Advance wasn't a coincidence. The melody and sound mixed with mystical power, meaning that Zaratul and the hospital really had some issues. But when I came 6 months ago, nothing happened. I didn't sense anything. Are the problems at the hospital worsening? As Klein muttered to himself, as his gaze moved up from the emergency center to the entire building, he heard his own heartbeat. The drums of liberation! Klein felt inexplicable fear, making his heart feel as if it had been violently squeezed by an invisible hand. He felt as if something he had feared and dreaded the most was hidden in that building, the source of his fears. It's here. 6 months ago, he had come for emergency treatment at night and looked at the hospital main building, but didn't have any feeling that something this terrifying was happening. Klein steadied himself, closed his eyes and regulated his breathing, and looked at the hospital again. He once again experienced a sudden burst of fear, believing that deep inside the hospital were things he did not wish to encounter. Shio subconsciously wanted to leave, but endured. Just a preliminary observation. Just a preliminary observation. Avoiding won't solve anything, he muttered to himself. Klein's palm, not holding his phone, hung down, clenching and unclenching. After about 10 seconds, he hung up the phone and walked towards the entrance of the emergency center. In room 2303, Frank and Jenna's sleep quickly gained lucidity. This was something that inevitably happened when Beyonders entered Lushan's shaman world. Neither surprised, but in the next second what met their eyes was not a frozen storm, wandering astral projections and the semi-transparent barrier, but a dimly lit corridor. The walls of the corridor were painted white, giving off a slightly green hue. Where is this? Frank asked. Where is Lushan's shaman world gone? Could something have happened to her because of confirming that Huang, Jiaji, and the others are fake? But that would make Lushan further face the fact this was a dream. Didn't Anthony say that Lushan's emotions had stabilized? Did she experience some kind of shock after going home? Let's find her first. This might be the shaman world after some changes, Jenna said. Franca put her hand into her traveler bag instinctively, ready to take out her Beyonder items if needed. No, that's not right, she paused. The traveler bag and the items are still here. And Jenna's gaze froze. Only astral projections could enter Lushan's shaman world, meant to fight monsters. And they obviously wouldn't carry a travel bag. And if they did, it would only be something conjured by the dream, with no actual ability. This isn't Lushan's shaman world. Where the hell are we? Jenna said. They tried to leave this place through cogitation, but had no effect. We're not astral projections on an excursion. Entering Lushan's dream or a shaman world. We've been directly transferred here, but how the hell is this possible? Just as she finished speaking, she heard Lushan's voice. No, I refuse! A few seconds later, the door of that room pulled open and Lushan rushed out. You're here too? She asked. Franca then asked, where is this? Why shouldn't we be here? This is my dream. Did I dream of you? Lushan asked. What the hell did you dream about? Franca asked. I dreamt that someone was whispering strange things in my ear and dreamt that many fragmented scenes. There was a pregnant woman with a big belly. It seemed like the flesh on her face and the eyeballs had crawled out, and the head-like lumps growing on both sides of her shoulders. There was also a man whose heart had been dug out, the cries of an infant. Finally, I dreamt of this corridor, that I was in a room, and a voice told me. Told you what? It said that it could help me masquerade as the genuine article, replace the me outside so that even if the dream shatters, I could live on. But I couldn't accept that. How could I harm an innocent person? Do you remember the words at the beginning of the dream? Franca asked. It seemed truth can be false, falsehoods can be true, the celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing. At this moment, Jenna and Franca both turned into statues. Franca woke up and said, quickly, find out where we are. Isn't this my dream? Lushan said. Are you usually this lucid in your dreams? Jenna asked rhetorically. True, I guess, Lushan muttered. Frank and Jenna simultaneously found a bulletin board on the ahead. The two strode ahead, rushing over, and saw the large characters on the bulletin board. Mushu Hospital. Let's go. Halfway through, boys. Halfway through already. Dude, we're making such good timing. What do you mean 12 more chapters to go? Who do you think I am? At this rate, hopefully I'll be done by like 8:30 my time. Done at a decent time, we're laughing. Mushu Hospital? How the hell did they end up here? Is this real or fake? Franca didn't need to take out a mirror and use mirror divination and get an answer. Her intuition had already told her this was the real Mushu Hospital. Although she didn't understand how she and Jenna had been sleeping peacefully in their room and somehow ended up here, she chose to trust her intuition. Jenna had a similar judgment and exchanged glances with Franca, stood still and closed her eyes and entered a cogitative state. In her imagination, she leapt off, jumping towards a bottomless abyss. She fell faster and faster, but there was no shattering of darkness, no waking up startled from a dream. Jenna opened her eyes and looked at Franca, her the meaning clear. They couldn't exit the dream city and return to the real world. Would the above-ground floors of Mushu Hospital have a similar restriction? This may be the underground area, Franca realized. Her already highly tense mental state drew even closer to her limits. Yep, exact same time for me, Chris. What's wrong? Lushan asked. Hearing this, Franca had a series of thoughts. She said this was her dream just now, but this is the real hospital, quite possibly the underground part. Why did her dream connect us here, transferring beyonders? Why would it connect? Wait, according to our previous judgment, every character in the city is constructed by the consciousness based on its own cognition and social relationships, Lushan the same. And the dream subconscious is a blend of Mr. Fool's subconscious and the celestial worthies. In other words, Lushan is equivalent to part of the dream subconscious, equivalent to a division of Mr. Fool's subconscious. She's developed psychological trauma from the shock that the current world is a dream city, which is equivalent to a part of the Mr. Fool's divided subconscious developing a psychological trick, while the underground area of the hospital is where Mr. Fool's psychological trauma converges. You missed the West Coast? Why? This is the right time. This is God's time, you know? Everyone else, they're heathens, running on the wrong time, saying they know better than God. Tisk tisk, you know? But this also has a good side. If we know what the celestial worthies traumas are and escape alive, we can find ways to weaken him. Purely having mystical similarities and close connections is not enough for Lushan to bring me and Jenna here out of thin air. As at first, Lushan heard the truth can be false and false can be true, the celestial worthy of heaven and earth, indicating that this has been targeted by some faction. The problem has been identified, but that faction wanted to fish or wait for an opportunity. The days are longer, weather, food, more convenient viewing spots. Okay. Days are longer? I don't even know if that part's true. Weather? I can't argue with that. True. Food? Okay, that depends on the city you're on, not time zone, okay? You can go to in this time zone, you can go to Toronto or you can go to New York and get every kind of good food in the fucking planet, okay? There's not a good type of food that exists in New York that exists in Cali that doesn't in New York. There's no shot. At first, Lushan heard, Zarathul's group? No, if it were them, Zarathul would have absolutely guarded against the possibility of Zhou being invited to eat at the hot pot restaurant. As thoughts flashed through Franca's mind, she didn't dare waste time on deep thinking and analysis and said, "This may be the underground part of the Mushu Hospital, not something you dreamt of. It's real." Without waiting for Lucian to ask any questions, Franca then said, "There's likely an enemy hidden in or near your room who, while you were sleeping, exerted influence and used your shaman world to transfer us here. No wonder at first it felt like my usual dream, then I became more and more lucid. Why bring us here? Is there a problem here?" As the two conversed, Jenna searched through her bag. "Aren't you in Canada?" "I am." She originally wanted to make a phone call or send a WeChat message to try to call for help, but she and Franca put their phones beside their pillows before sleeping, not holding onto them tightly or carrying them. Currently, they were both phoneless. Jenna took out the ice mirror charm with only one use left and held it in her palm. She had another ice mirror charm that could be used 4 times, which Lumin had found an opportunity to remake for all members. "I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm only sure that it's very dangerous. We need to get out of here," Franca said. "Let's find the elevator lobby and go up to the first floor." Lucian's spirit also tensed up as she followed Franca's actions. At this moment, Jenna activated the ice mirror charm to see if she could leave the current area. But after being enveloped by the charm's light, she found that the world behind the mirror was deep and dark. She didn't dare to pass through the glass mirror surface and enter the mirror world. "The mirror world is also abnormal here," Jenna said. As she spoke, the charm in her hand turned to a sparkling fragment and scattered. "That's normal," Franca said. "In a place like this, maybe we can only enter through normal means and predetermined exits." Lucian first made a sound judgment, then remembered her ability and said, "Do you have any paintbrushes? Pencils or pens would work too. You want to draw a door to get out?" Jenna said. "Yes." "Are you sure the door you draw will lead to the upper parts of the hospital and not some underground part?" "I can draw the doors of my home, so we can return home, but there's a distance limit. I'm not sure if the distance between the Mushu Hospital and the Dishon Garden meets the conditions." "Let's first look for a real exit, then find the elevator lobby. If we can't, then we'll risk using your door." Seeing Jenna nod, Lucian could only temporarily abandon the idea. After giving her a fountain pen and a sharpened pencil, Franca turned around, partly relying on observing the environment and partly following her spiritual intuition, and walked to the other end of the corridor. There, they saw a double wooden door with glass. Franca, walking in front, brought her face close to the glass on the door, trying to observe. Beyond the glass was pitch black. Even a demoness couldn't see what was hidden inside. Franca felt her eyes as if they were covered by a black cloth. After performing a simple magic mirror divination, Franca stretched out her hand and pushed open the double doors. What lay ahead was not an extension of a corridor, but a dimly lit hall, with similar wooden doors at the far end. What they noticed first was not these, but the corpses hanging from the ceiling, gently swaying. Fucking Zaratul. As they swayed, some of the bodies half-turned, allowing Franca and the others to see them. There was Ainana, the principal of the dream tutoring classes, Huang Jiaji and other teachers. Lucian wanted to scream, but was muffled by Jenna's hand. "How is this possible?" Franca's scalp tingled. She knew the dream manifestation of Ainana and Huang Jiaji had essentially died and may have ended up hung like Danitz, but had never imagined they would still be hanging like cured meat. They're here? So who are the ones outside? Didn't their corpses gain new lives and run out? Lumin said their fates were connected. Jenna had a similar question, but thought of a possibility. Manifestation of psychological trauma? Oh, Uth casually getting spoiled. And yes, the underground area of the Mushu Hospital is where the dream subconscious psychological traumas manifest. The psychological traumas created by Ainana, Huang Jiaji being hung up and the rebirth of corpses running up could exist simultaneously and occur in parallel. She said to Jenna and Lucian, "Let's go through the doors to the other side." Lucian encountered such a horrifying scene for the first time, completely at a loss, and could only choose to follow Franca and Jenna, passing through. Occasional winds blew through the hall, causing the corpses to sway, sometimes swinging left and right, nearly brushing against Lucian's head many times. Lucian used her strength to keep herself from reacting excessively, Finally, she squeezed through the hanging corpses and reached the double wooden door representing the exit. After going through the process and getting the same result as before, Franca once again stretched out her hand and pushed open the door. Ahead was a corridor, extremely dimly lit, and at the end, a blurry figure. Everyone raised their guards, carefully passing through the wooden doors and entering the corridor. The scene before their eyes became clear. They could now see that blurry figure. A giant mushroom. Over 2 feet tall. On top of the giant mushroom was blood red, interspersed with the white patterns. Its body composed of countless similar mushrooms, patterns collectively depicting a handsome yet strange face. On each side, identical mushrooms extending. Smack! The wooden doors behind Jenna, Franca, and Lucian had closed. Seeing the bizarrely shaped giant mushroom person, even Franca, a veteran gamer, felt the morbid curiosity and horror. My goodness, what kind of monstrosity is this? I feel like this was the thing, the guy that Klein was fighting in the foggy town that ate the mushroom or got corrupted by the Frank's mushroom, right? I don't remember who this was, but I know what this is because I remember fighting the Mushroom Man. I remember this, yeah. I can't remember who it was. Was it Mr. A? Oh, Mr. A. Ah, good memory. Ooh, that's nice. I remember fighting the Mushroom Man. I just couldn't remember who it was. As expected, of something evolved from the great existence's trauma. Who knows if it's from Mr. Fool or the Celestial Worthy. I did enjoy Lodom. Okay, I'm like, yeah, I know you mentioned you had some personal reasons for not liking Koi, but it's not horrible. It's not, listen, it should be read, okay? Well, would this even be frankly trauma at this point? As similar thoughts flashed through her mind, Franca and Jenna tacitly split to the sides, one hiding in the shadows, and the other concealing her form. Lucian had never cooperated with them in Beyond Her combat before, but this was her first time encountering a monster. Moreover, this wasn't the domain of her shaman abilities, so she was at a loss for a moment. She turned around and wanted to run to the previous hall instinctively. However, although she chose the double doors behind her, she was shocked to find herself rapidly approaching the giant monster, and at the same time Franca emerged, feeling the shadows she was hiding in strangely come alive, as if trying to control and erode her. In the next second, she and Lucian saw the giant mushroom personally swell and grow larger. A giant lava sword burning with pale blue flames coalescing in its hand. Oh yeah. The giant mushroom took a step closer, swinging down the great sword. Franca didn't dodge back, but instead shot forward, lowering herself before the sword could strike, darting past the heat wave to the mushroom. Jenna's body outlined against the ceiling position, holding a brass-colored revolver. Bang! The giant mushroom person's sword strike hit the inexperienced Lucian, shattering the painter like a mirror. The mirror substitution that Jenna and Franca had made for her finally came in handy. The lava sword didn't stop after shattering Lucian, heavily striking the corridor floor and sending out pale blue sulfur fireballs. Jenna had just pulled the trigger on it, firing a bright yellow bullet at the giant mushroom person's head, when she was engulfed by the chain reaction. Most of the corridor, including Franca and the giant mushroom person itself, was affected by the explosion created by the dozen sulfur fireballs. Franca and Jenna's mere substitutes were passively triggered, their bodies thinning, then developing cracks and finally shattering. When the explosive wind in the narrow environment subsided, the figures of Franca, Jenna, and Lucian outlined the giant mushroom person in its original position at the end of the corridor, then next to the other set of double doors. Then they saw the giant mushroom person's head had collapsed, oozing blood, white mycelium, and tiny spores, and saw its body torn open by similar explosions. As the flesh writhed and the mycelium grew, the mushroom person's wounds healed. Seeing this, Franca's scalp tingled. She turned around and pushed open the door and rushed out the corridor, feeling that fighting in this narrow environment was not advantageous to them. While the mushroom person, with the exaggerated healing ability and explosive methods, was clearly more in its element. So she had to escape from here. I can't go into... No worries, you don't have to. Never. You never have to share anything you don't want to, okay? I know. It's all good. She felt that fighting... wait, hold on. Jenna didn't hesitate and followed closely. Lushan, who thought she would die, was surprised that the mirror substitute actually worked, having gained experience choosing to imitate Franca and Jenna. The trio quickly passed through the doors, entering a new corridor. Behind them, the two halves of the door swayed several times before completely shutting. Franca moved forward, while vigilantly observing whether the mushroom person was pursuing them, but found the doors were dead silent. Does each type of trauma only operate in a fixed area? Make a guess? Franca made a guess. Now we need to be alert of the next trauma. What trauma? Lushan looked confused. Monsters, similar to that mushroom just now. Monsters transformed by Zhou's psychological trauma? So clever, Franca thought. Including the trauma of the evil forces as well. Lushan was silent for a moment and started coughing. Why do I feel like I've fallen ill? Disease? Can he create pathogens? Jenna and I are both demonesses of affliction with some resistance to diseases. Brief contact won't affect us, but Lushan can't. The symptoms are quick. This isn't a sequence 7. After Zhou was stimulated, did the power level of the Dream City change, starting from the underground part of the hospital? Jenna understood and took out a bottle of healing agent. She didn't rush to provide it to Lushan, but asked, "Can you draw efficacious medicine? Even if the drawn medicine had limited duration, it could truly cure a disease." At this time, Franca also figured out the reason and said that mushroom person's terrifying. What kind of monster is this? I don't know what the disease is, nor do I know what medicine to draw to cure it, Lushan said. Then drink this. Jenna handed over the healing agent. This to me sounds like the demoness of despair for the the Great Smog of Baklan. That's what I'm getting. That's the vibe I'm getting. Could be something else though. She and Frank always maintained a state of having 2 healing bottles on each on them, with previously consumed ones either coming from Lumion or being replenished by him. After experiencing the dream substitute, Lushan fully trusted Franca and Jenna and took the healing agent and gulped it down. I think I'm better now, she said. It's amazing. Your ability to draw is amazing, Franca said humbly. Let's continue forward. We need to find the elevator lobby quickly. Jenna and Franca felt the same, quickening their pace. They had just taken 2 or 3 steps when the 2 double doors at the end swung open. Franca and Jenna instinctively used invisibility, then considered how to help Lushan hide. Lushan had somewhat adapted to the current situation, using a pencil, then drawing a simple, inconspicuous, childlike doodle of a door on the side wall in just a second. The door had no markings and wouldn't lead anywhere. Lushan placed her hand on the handle and yanked it back. The door, just drawn, miraculously opened, revealing a dark area about the size of room 2303's bathroom. The one they killed in the dream? Oh, no. It couldn't be her, because that's not Klein's psychological trauma, right? So it wouldn't make any sense. But Klein did get a lot of trauma from the from the Great Smog. He was fucked up for a long time for that. Lushan hid inside, then carefully closed the door. The wall surface was left with only a few faint, barely noticeable pencil marks. By the time the double doors at the end fully opened, an orderly wearing light blue clothing and a white mask slowly entered, pushing a transfer bed. Franca held her breath and turned her gaze to the orderly in the bed. seeing that the orderly's eyes were empty and wooden, yet seemed to hide deep malice. Saw that the surface of the transfer bed covered in a thin blanket, but no patient or corpse on the bed. What made the back of Franca's neck go cold was the thin blanket appeared to be in a bulging state, yet there was clearly nothing underneath. Covering an invisible object, Franca and Jenna pressed their backs tightly against the wall. That is her from. She turned to Miriam. Oh, I see what you. Oh, yeah. Then I guess we're both saying the same thing at that point. Amidst the sound of the wheels rolling on the floor, the orderly maintained a stiff, slow posture, pushing the transfer bed past Franca and Jenna towards the double door leading to the corridor with the giant mushroom. Only when the bed had pushed open the door, slowly left the area and disappeared, did Franca and Jenna in their invisibility. Lucian opened the door and leapt out. How did you know it was safe to come out? Jenna asked. I drew a peephole inside, Lucian said. Let's continue looking for the elevator, Franca said. Just as they reached the exit of the corridor, that double-set door swung open. It had opened again, while Franca, Jenna, and Lucian were less than 3 meters from it. Mushu Hospital. Based on the experience from the last hospital visit, Klein described the symptoms of acute gastroenteritis and successfully obtained a lab test. He took this order and turned to the right passageway, heading to the emergency blood drawing area. While waiting for his number to be called, he clutched his stomach, pretending he could no longer bear it, and quickly left the area, entering the first floor lobby and heading to the restroom. During this process, he naturally looked around, trying to find anything odd, but not discovering anything. The nearest public bathroom was adjacent to elevator 6 and 10, and in the dim light, Klein quickly circled to the elevator lobby, pressing both up and down simultaneously. Soon the elevator door arrived on the first floor, the doors opening. Klein looked left and right, finding nothing unusual, but the downward arrow one gave him the feeling of leading to hell itself. Is the Mushu Hospital problem underground? Klein mused. Three more chapters, boys, and then we reach quadruple digits. Let's go! I feel like it was not that long ago. I remember going, damn, we're on triple digits in COI already? Crazy. It can't be that long ago. I don't know when we started COI, but it was not that. I have made exceptional timing on COI. Easy is on chapter 510 of Shadow Slave at the moment. He started reading in like October. Joe stared at the downward elevator until its door closed. He suppressed the urge within him, choosing not to take the elevator now to explore the underground. He needed more intel. Klein withdrew his gaze and walked towards the elevator lobby exit, intending to go to the nearby public restroom. Soon, he looked towards a corner to the side as if nothing was hidden. Joe stared for a while but found nothing unusual. He continued walking diagonally opposite. After a few seconds, he hid in the shadows, melting into the darkness. After waiting patiently for nearly 5 minutes and confirming there was no potential observers in the corresponding corner, he returned to the public restroom, feigning the appearance of having just finished his business. It wasn't until Klein's figure entered the brightly lit area that Lumine's image reflected on the metal elevator. He wore a light gray t-shirt, a jacket slightly lighter than black water, and off-white trousers. And the strong spirituality, keen intuition. This doesn't seem like a Sequence 9 assassin, Lumine sighed. Of course, he knew Klein couldn't be a mere Sequence 9. Earlier, he had hidden in the corner using invisibility. If Klein had made any move towards the hospital's underground area, he would try to stop him. Who knew? He was almost discovered by Zhou Grui. Fortunately, he wasn't just a hunter and a demoness. With a blink, he transferred positions, hiding completely within the metal mirror surface. Lumen walked out of the elevator, about to stealthily approach the emergency center along the largely unlit lobby, when he felt a vibration underground, like a subtle earthquake. Lumen stopped and lowered his head. Something changed underground, Lumen pondered. Seeing the wooden doors swing open, Franca pulled Lucian, her feet sliding, quickly hiding in the shadows. Then she merged with the shadows, letting Lucian press against the wall behind her, using herself as a shadow. Meanwhile, Jenna used invisibility in the blink of an eye before the wooden doors were open and the three had completed their concealment. This time, it was again an orderly wearing light blue clothing and a white mask, pushing a transfer bed in, but unlike before, there was a patient covered by the thin blanket. The patient in her 20s, wearing a loose blue and white checkered hospital gown, her golden long hair docilely spreading to both sides, her forehead neither wide nor narrow, smooth and beautiful, her eyes a jade green. The most notable thing about her was her abdomen, which was greatly swollen. Pushing a patient? There are no wards or examination rooms down here, Franca thought. Of course, she knew that this place in the dream subconscious was for the psychological traumas, and the Mother Tree of Desire's abyssal symbols emerged. The foreign pregnant woman laying on the transfer bed may as well be a psychological trauma of Mr. Fool or the Celestial Worthy. SS chapters are like 1,000 to 1,300 words. How many are like COI chapters? I don't know. The foreign pregnant woman lying on the transfer bed may as well be Lucian shielded behind Franca, seeing only the foreign pregnant woman after the transfer bed had passed. Her gaze froze. That was the woman she'd seen in her dreams. At that time, one of her eyes had been gouged out, hanging near the socket. Her face covered with deep, fleshless wounds and the head-sized bloody tumors growing from both sides. Lucian bit her lip, not letting herself make any sound. Just then, from the highly swollen belly of the pregnant woman on the transfer bed came the cry of an infant. "What the hell are you crying for when you're not even born?" Franca bristled. The cry made the latent fear in everyone explode, causing them to move around. Franca consequently emerged from the shadows, and Jenna could no longer maintain her invisibility. In a flash, the orderly turned to look at Jenna. The pregnant woman on the transfer bed also sat up. "Let's go for it," Franca gritted her teeth. Her idea to temporarily repel the orderly and pregnant woman, then seize the opportunity to escape to the next area. This chapter has like 1950? The next second, the whites of the orderly's eyes became more pronounced, a cold aura emanating from his body. Jenna once again vanished. Immediately after, her body quickly outlined them behind the orderly, thrusting a sharp dagger in her hand to the orderly's back. Her dagger seemed to strike the metal and ironwood, only piercing the clothing, unable to penetrate the skin. Jenna wasn't shocked. She let the quiet, vile, demoness flames appear on the surface of a dagger. With a whoosh, the orderly, feeling increasingly inhuman, burst into demoness flames from the inside out. He felt his spirituality and life fading. On the other side, the first thing Franca did was also use invisibility while Lucian strode forward. Franca appeared in front of the transfer bed, a mirror in hand reflecting the image of the pregnant woman, almost simultaneously pressing her hand, covered in flames, towards the mirror. The woman's reaction seemed rather slow, like a normal person. She then saw the flames erupting from her belly. She let out a shrill cry and agonizing scream, her figure disappearing. But when she reappeared in Franca's planned escape direction, the flames were still burning on her body. The pregnant woman's flesh seemed to melt away, plopping to the ground bit by bit, feeling her aura dissipating and the orderly collapsing. Franca felt a sense of bewilderment. That easy? No, it can't be like that. Before Franca could even correct her thoughts, she saw the woman fall, and her abdomen tear open as if something was trying to claw its way out. At the same time, the piece of flesh that had fallen to the ground also underwent a change, merging with the floor tiles, transforming into womb-like shapes, giving birth to a square-shaped infant with eyebrows and eyes. some touching the bed, causing the bluish mechanical bed to bulge, sprouting one after another small beds with human heads and wheels for limbs. Some splattering onto the surface, causing the energy-saving lights to brighten, producing dozens of children with human bodies and light bulb heads. How does he even come up with this? How does a human genuinely come up with this? Franca and Jenna retreated, seeming to have been stunned. Is this the trauma of a great existence? Don't come over here. I don't want to give birth. In her terror, Franca drew out the inevitable gun. She found that the foreign pregnant woman was not dead, still producing more flesh, and those pieces of flesh writhing, seeking new wombs or fathers. Moreover, the woman's abdomen had been torn open, and the fetus inside about to crawl out. Franca forced herself to calm down, aiming at the woman's abdomen, pulling the trigger. A bullet exuding a dim blue-green color shot out, passing through the numerous oddly shaped infants, accurately hitting the target. Certain death. The cry of the baby suddenly became intense and resentful, but ceased abruptly. Similarly, the woman stopped secreting flesh, and those that had been separated writhed. Thankfully, it worked, Franca thought. Just then, she, Jenna, and Lushan felt the earth tremble. The tremor lasting only a second, but everyone saw the new corridor outside collapsing inch by inch. The walls, rooms, and ceiling were also falling into the abyss. The collapse spread towards the current area. Franca and Jenna sensed something, one looking up at the ceiling and the other to look at the area where the mushroom person was. Franca discovered the ceiling above them was also falling, but instead of crashing onto them, falling directly to the seemingly bottomless abyss. Jenna saw that the area where the mushroom man was also began to collapse. Does killing her trigger such change? No, this may be the true appearance of the underground just now, a dark abyss containing various traumas. What we walked through earlier was a disguise influenced by the Dream City. What do we do now? Lushan asked. She had first needed eye bleach from the sight of the infants and the birthing process. It shocked her mind before she even realized that she and the others had nowhere to go. Now that's a nice chapter number, eh? Seeing Jenna collapse and spreading towards the seeing the collapse gradually spreading towards the area and hearing Lushan's question, Franca and Jenna exchanged glances and said, "Quick, draw a door that leads out!" Clearly, they could no longer continue forward. "Okay," Lushan said, turning her head, holding the pen in one hand and the pencil in the other, and she began sketching on the wall. At this moment, Franca and Jenna noticed the monster children, born of the woman, were all surging to them. They seemed to fear falling into the abyss and were trying to avoid it. Being close to Jenna and the others, the children had reduced the distance between them to 2 meters, their eyes reflecting the figures of Franca, Jenna, and the others with the desire to attack growing. Just then a thick ice wall appeared before them, created by Jenna. Seeing the densely packed monsters in the square-shaped, some like small beds and some with light bulb heads, crawling onto the surface of the hemispherical ice wall. Trying ways to break through, Franca felt the fear of the clustered objects and the humanoid creatures. She condensed quiet and sinister flames around her, waiting for the moment for the first layer of ice could shatter. In just 7 or 8 seconds, the crystalline ice made a crisp, shattering sound under the sound of the numerous children. Black flames quickly flew out from Franca and Jenna, passing through the rapidly expanding cracks. They burst into flames all over, wailing and rolling on the spot, obstructing many of the siblings' advance and igniting those around them. Seizing this opportunity, before the hemispherical ice wall collapsed, Franca and Jenna joined forces to create a second layer of ice wall. "It's done," Lushan's voice rang out. While continuing to delay the approach of the monster children, Franca and Jenna expectantly glanced at the pattern on the wall, a vivid door outlined by a pencil mark in blue ink. The door leading to Lucian's home, almost identical to what Franca and Jenna remembered. The current one was closer to a sketch. Lucian pressed her thumb to the position corresponding to the door lock, making the fake door on the wall emit an unlocking sound. She turned the handle and pushed it open. The light behind the door was dim, outlining all the items in room 1502. As the illusion solidified to reality, Lucian's joyful gaze froze. She saw the windows collapsing, her balcony collapsing, and all of them falling to the abyss. "It doesn't work," she muttered. She turned her gaze, filled with the undisguised despair, yet brimming with hope, towards Franca and Jenna, hoping they could think of something. At this moment, the nearest collapse had already swallowed the original corridor, causing the double door separating the two sides to fall, already inches away from Franca and company. Through the gaps between the children, Franca could see more clearly the abyss darkness and seemingly something hidden inside. That figure wrapped in a robe, or perhaps a robe itself, blown up by the wind. Even just vaguely glimpsing the figure, Franca felt fear explode in her heart. Seeing the skin on her face become semi-transparent and the flesh began to writhe, as if gaining a life of its own. She withdrew her gaze and realized the thing they had just seen was Mr. Fool's subconscious, or Mr. Celestial Worthy's subconscious feared most. Their deepest trauma. Clearly not subject to the dreaming suppression of the power level. If they couldn't escape and fell to the abyss along with the corridor to that place, death may be the gentlest outcome. Franca shook her head, shaking off the amounts of glue that were clouding her thoughts. As Jenna used a third layer of ice wall to block these children, she took out an ice amulet. "We'll go through the mirror world, no matter how terrifying and hidden the dangers are. It can't be worse than this." "Okay," Jenna didn't object. The ice amulet in Franca's hand lit up. In the next second, Franca found the glass surface on the mirror had somehow already turned pitch black. "We can't get in." Franca felt uncontrollable despair. Were they really going to fall to the abyss and face the strongest fear of a great existence? Who do you think it is? That great, the thing in the abyss? Who would be Klein's greatest fear? I don't know why. I want to say the true creator, but I don't know why the Celestial Worthy would be so scared of it. Could also be, I don't know. Could be another great old one. Could be like someone I don't know super well, like the Monarch of Decay. Can't get in. Jenna's actions slowed. Lucian was dumbfounded and said, "Is there no way?" Hearing this, Jenna gritted her teeth and created another ice wall. The surface of the ice wall quickly covered with various children, densely packed. The collapse of the corridor had reached this area. "I still have a way," Franca thought. "I'll advance to Demoness of Despair now!" It's perfect timing. I've been using disease to influence the monsters in this area, which can save a lot of time. The children crawling all over the ice were all within 3 meters of Franca, numbering close to 1,000. It's useless. Even if a Demoness of Despair is suppressed to sequence 7, at most 6. You can't forcibly open a path to the mirror world, Jenna refuted. She wanted to stay calm, but was overwhelmed by the monstrous children breaking through the ice wall. Franca, while using the black eyeball condensed from the corpse of Panatia, drank a bottle of healing agent and told Jenna, "Drink a bottle too." Lucian already has done so. The important thing is not me advancing, but that every demoness advances draws the attention of the primordial. I need her help. Does Mr. Fool know about her? Of course she does, Jenna answered. Mr. Fool's avatar in dealing with the demoness sect was as numerous. He must be aware of the primordial. Let's move to the center. Buy more time, Franca said. Without waiting for Jenna and Lucian to respond, Franca withdrew the force maintaining the ice wall and ran at her fastest speed to the middle of the corridor. Lucian ran even faster. After the three determined their positions, Jenna once again condensed an ice wall to block the pursuing monster children, and explained, since Mr. Fool knows of the primordial, there must be a manifestation to the primordial here, we just don't know it, and true gods can enter the city. When I advance, my real self will also. Based on our experience, no matter what state the primordial is in, whether the situation is good or bad, she will turn her gaze here. As a true god, she won't have difficulty discovering my consciousness as in a dream, and will project herself here, and using her inherent dream manifestation to observe me advancing. She won't risk descending here for sure, nor does she have the feelings or motivation to save me. But as the ruler of the mirror world, her gaze should open a channel between the mirror world and here, possibly causing the dangers to disperse for but a moment. We don't know that, Jenna said. This place was a product of fusion of great existences, psychological traumas, and the great tree of desires. What? And the mother tree of desires, abyssal symbol, and more great existences had projected power here. Even if they were all suppressed, could the primordial, in a poor state, break the blockade? There's no such thing as a guarantee. Franco responded. This will prevent you from leaving the dream, and if the dream ends, you'll die, Jenna said. We'll deal with it later, if we're alive. But Jenna's voice choked. She tried to think of something, but couldn't. After killing Panatee and obtaining the characteristic and supplementary ingredients, knowing that all the ritual requirements in the Dream City would be lowered, I was thinking, is this giving me an opportunity when everyone is desperate and with no chance to stand up like a hero and consume the potion? Break through in the face of danger, forcibly advance and reverse the odds, save everyone? Now, the opportunity has presented itself, she said, revealing a bright smile. Let's go! We're about to have 2 demigods, both suppressed to sequence 7? Hell yeah. You guys are both fucking useless. Good job, guys. Let's go. Damn, my hair looks really good. What the fuck? Well, boys, that was a cool chapter that was a cool chapter number, wouldn't you agree? But you know what looks even cooler? Hell yeah, brother. Jenna looked at the smile on Franca's face and listened to her calm words, tinged with self-mockery. Her gaze swept over the monster children about to break through. Okay, she bit her lips. The rest of her words got stuck in her throat. She could only tell herself that future problems would be solved in the future. Franca estimated the time and began preparing the despair potion using the eyeball and the corresponding supplementary ingredients. Jenna allowed the wet feeling to spread from the corner of her eyes to the edge of her face while focusing on blocking the children. She no longer created her own disease, leaving these oddly shaped targets to Franca. After the children were born, she had been quietly spreading pathogens. Lushan, who was bewildered and terrified, also reined in her thoughts and began adding patterns to Jenna's ice wall to enhance them. In a burst of light, the children were unable to break through the ice wall. Behind them, the floor tiles of the corridor on the walls on both sides and the ceiling kept collapsing, the abyss getting closer and closer. After a while, some of the children began to cough violently, coughing so hard that they slid down from the surface of the wall. Others became rigid. Those crowded outside the ice wall, separated from Jenna and the others by several meters, were finally caught up by the collapse, surging down like a tide. They began to fall towards the dense darkness, strong feelings of despair emanating from them rapidly spreading to their companions. Now, Franca raised the bottle, drinking the potion, burbling with the rosy bubbles. Drinking it without hesitation. It had no taste, or perhaps Franca couldn't distinguish it. She only felt her spirit and thoughts falling into lightness, enclosed darkness, and plummeting. Something seemed to be calling her, Trier, in a luxurious villa. Franca, sleeping on her bed, still had her eyes shut, but her hair began to float. Madame Judgment, standing at the villa, sensed something and blinked at Franca's side. Looking at Franca, Madame Judgment didn't rush to act, instead took out a charm made of dragon scales and activated it. There's been a change in the dream. The Two of Cups was forced to advance within the dream. Madame Judgment's words combined with the ethereal charm, becoming transparent and merging into the night sky. At this moment, Madame Judgment felt a certain gaze. A gaze from the traveler bag. A gaze from an unknown place. A gaze upon Franco. Dream City. B2. The place where Lou said, bro, even I don't go there. That place was fucked up. Franco's consciousness and spirit floated and fell within the enclosed darkness, feeling the countless invisible threads of intense despair extending from the outside world, following their connection to grasp her body. And at the same time, seeing two brilliant lights. Those were the people she cared of, the people she cared about, and the anchors that let her know who she was. The groggy Franca regained clarity, sensing a gaze full of resentment, hatred, and expectation watching her from within the darkness. Suddenly, her traveler bag outside the spirit world began to vibrate. It was the demoness figurine carved from white bone trembling, and at the same time, Franca discovered an indiscernible gaze, penetrating through the layers of the mirror world. Her hair turned black, floating up like tentacles, and her tips swelling into spheres. Franca's face became even more beautiful, emanating a charm that made even Lucian, a girl who preferred men, unable to look away. Franca struggled to open her eyes and spoke. "It's done." Jenna stopped maintaining the ice wall and activated the ice mirror charm she had been holding. In the light, she felt the surface of the mirror world and her hand ripple. They really could break through. The barrier had broken. Harsh, can I just say it, bro? You're doing such a good job. Holy shit. They really could. Moreover, Jenna discovered the dangers previously hidden in the mirror world had disappeared. This was beyond their expectations. She had thought the Primordial's gaze could break through the obstacles and connect to the mirror world, which would have been plenty. She never imagined it would dispel the dangers. This was also Franca's confusion. She struggled to tell Jenna and Lucian, "Go first." She was still fighting against the potion, transforming her body, unable to move. If the mirror world hadn't suppressed this advancement to Sequence 7, she wouldn't even be able to speak right now. Jenna didn't hesitate. She gave Franca a deep look, grabbed Lucian's arm, and plunged into the compact mirror in her hand. Nah, Harsh, that was perfect, man. That was fucking great. Thank you. The compact mirror then fell to the ground as the surrounding ice wall collapsed. However, the monster children closest to Franca had all been affected by severe disease, unable to approach. In the mirror world, Jenna led Lucian through the surreal tunnel, heading to the corresponding mirror, but guided by their spirituality. In the blink of an eye, they reached a new area behind the mirror, able to leave to the current world. Jenna sensed something and turned her head to look at the depths of the mirror world, sensing that dangerous entity had awoken slightly, instantly filling the world with a sense of terror. "Franca," Jenna's pupils dilated as she called out. The scene before her eyes meant that Franca would be unable to escape via the mirror world, and by the time the mirror world recovered, the demoness's gaze would likely have ended. Blood trickled from Jenna's lips as she endured the pain invading her mind before the terrifying collapse of the mirror world could rapidly spread to them, and pulled Lucian and emerged from the surface mirror. She knew that blindly returning would only lead them to getting lost in the spatial temporal turbulence deep in the mirror world. She planned to go to the first floor of the Mushu Hospital and take the elevator down. At that moment, Franca, still in the process of advancing, had discovered the collapse of the mirror world. She felt violent tremors like an earthquake at the bottom of the abyss, as if certain entities hidden in the darkness had been stimulated by the collapsing force of the mirror world. With these terrors, the corridor beneath Franca's feet that had not yet been affected by the collapse gave way. "Damn it," Franca thought. The despair of those children became even more intense, solidifying into a substance, and Franca was enveloped by these emotions of despair. This helped her through the final stage of her advancement, causing her hair to fall back, no longer abnormal. Gritting her teeth, Franca used the demoness's feather falling to slow her descent. She chose to move away from the intense psychological shadow she had sensed, the thing that resembled a giant, which would surely make her wish for death. She drifted towards other areas, taking a gamble. What if the traumas in the other parts of the abyss aren't as bad? As a human, one must hold hope, right? Jenna emerged from the mirror surface in the elevator lobby with Lucian, immediately seeing the female version of Lumion, who had just lifted her gaze from the shaking ground. She wasn't surprised to see Lumion and said, Franca is below, not at B1. The mirror world has collapsed. Lumion's eyes narrowed. He'd asked for details and said, go to the emergency center and find Klein, see if you can get him to help, and go to the underground area. I'll leave the rest to me, I'll take care of it. Klein is in the hospital? I had anticipated scenarios where we might have to enter the bottom of the hospital to sabotage and make preparations, Lumion said. Everyone has their own task. Finding Klein is equally important. As he spoke, Lumion had already reached the elevator and pressed the down arrow. Jenna's vision blurred. She didn't insist, but gave a terse acknowledgement and pulled Lucian towards the emergency center. She knew she couldn't put all her eggs in one basket. She knew she couldn't be selfish. She knew that even with godhood, even if she went to the bottom of the hospital, she probably wasn't of much help. She wished she didn't know all this. At this moment, she felt her own weakness through the intense pain, and because of her weakness, felt even more pain. And at this moment, her affliction potion had fully digested. Lumion entered the elevator and pressed B2. As the elevator began to descend, Lumion looked at the stunningly beautiful reflection in the metal surface with a grim expression. The elevator stopped and the doors opened. He stepped out and looked to the area. Outside the elevator, what met his eyes was a darkness as black as the abyss with no bottom. Lumion's gaze froze, and a voice called out from the corner of the elevator lobby. Child of God. Lumion turned around to see the person. It was Lu Yong'an, the Dean of Obstetrics at the Mushu Hospital, and a bestowed of the Great Mother. Her face shrouded in darkness, she looked at Lumion and said, to save someone from there, one can only beseech the Mother's help. Absolute cinema! What the fuck? Damn. Within 10 chapters today, I lost 15 minutes. So I was like averaging like 11 and a half minutes a chapter instead of 10, like I like to. Oh, well, you know, that's still well within normal, reasonable time, I think. I'm quite happy with that. 1,000 chapters. If Klein tells me that he's going to take on the Great Mother pathway and become a vampire and gain the wings to fly down into the abyss, I'm gonna genuinely fucking quit this book. If he gains a fourth pathway, I swear to God, I will fucking end this book. Ooth, you don't even like Koi. What do you mean? Ooth, you don't even like Koi. Stop it. You having a rough day, Youth? Are you okay, buddy? I just don't want stream to end. Oh, Youth. Alright, listen, I don't listen, I'm done reading. Honestly, I don't really want to read anymore. If you guys want, we can do some Outer Wilds. I'm good for like an hour maybe. Not long, but we can do like an hour of Outer Wilds. Okay, obviously Harsh is down for that. He always is. It's not a surprise to anyone. Sure? Okay. Okay. Alright, we can do Outer Wilds then. Fuck it. I don't know. Alright. Come on. Not always about the money, man. So, one day you're just having a... Like, listen. It sounds... I don't know if maybe I'm wrong, but it sounds like you're just having a rough day and you just want to hang around for a bit. You can just say that. It's all good. Not everything... Listen. I know online where everything is supposed to be super transactional and like I'm just supposed to be like, listen, I only care about you guys insofar as you're like my view hours or whatever listen, I can't do that shit. Okay, it's not in me. I'm having a rough day. Actually, okay, I'm gonna be really annoying. I know I said Outer Wilds. I know I said Outer Wilds. Can we actually play a different game that I've been playing for a while? Okay, I played it for like 2 hours. I've really been enjoying the game. Would you guys be okay if we play this? Sorry, Harsh. I know. Sorry. Okay. I've genuinely just been having fun playing this, so I just want to play Demon Bluff. Okay. As long as you don't end it, okay. Okay, great. So, Demon Bluff. I'm sorry, Harsh. I'm sorry. Okay, let me just reset. Reset progress. Yeah. Okay. So, how Demon... You should feel comfortable streaming all the games you play? I wouldn't want to stream it all the time. Okay, so how Demon Bluff works is what the principle is there are these couple of characters. This is at the start. You gain more and more characters as you get later and later in the levels. Right now, this is just a demo. So, like right now, if you guys want to play it, feel free to download it on Steam. It's free. I've been having a shit ton of fun with it. I'm not sponsored or anything, but this is Ludwig's game, and I love Ludwig, so it's not. So basically how it works is there's like different characters. Each character does a different thing. Like, have you guys ever heard of the game like Werewolf, basically? Where there's like 1 or 2 evil people in a village, and then you have to figure out who the evil person is based on like clues. So basically, everyone who's red is evil, obviously, and then these are like the good people. Now each of the good people will have like traits, and then you have to figure out using these traits who's lying, and because the minion will disguise. Because obviously they're not just going to show up as a minion because you just kill them, right? So a hunter will say, learn how far the nearest evil is from me. So he would say, like, the nearest evil is 2 away from me or something, right? The enlightened would tell you if the closest evil to them is clockwise or counterclockwise. The confessor will always just tell you either I am good or I'm dizzy. If they say I'm dizzy, it means they're evil and they're disguised. The confessor is just confessing. This one's like the easiest one. Ideally, we can get this one. The lover will say like, oh, there is 1 evil adjacent to me, or 2 evil adjacent to me, or 0 adjacent, or 0 evils adjacent to me, and then the minion who's just evil. Okay, that might sound like a lot, but in principle, when you're playing it, it's not that bad. Okay, so these are the 5 villages or 5 people. There's 1 evil right now. That's the 1 evil you gotta find. So, okay, great. So, see, 1 evil next to me. But obviously, this could be the evil who's lying or disguised. So so you don't take it for a fact, but you say, okay, maybe the evil is counterclockwise. Now this could be implying that this is the evil, because she's saying this is evil. This could be evil, and he's saying, well, this one could be evil, right? So this is an option. Confessor says I am good, which means she's not evil. This one we know for a fact. This one we don't have to worry about. And 4, I am 2 cards away from the closest evil. So you see, it's interesting. Hunter is saying it's one of these 2. And the enlightened says it's clockwise. See, this is interesting. So there's 2 enlightened, which means one of them is definitely evil, because there's only 1 of each type of villager in the thing. So now the question is, now logically, the answer is this one is evil, because this one and this one and this one all point to theoretically this one. So we're gonna go with this one. Gotcha, bitch. Aha. Medium. Learn a good character and let's roll. Hunter. I'm 1 card away from the closest evil. So this is saying the evil could be either, and it kind of glows, which is nice. I really like the interface. So like one of the either, because like 1 card could be weird, right? Because is it counting himself? Like especially if you get to like 2 cards, like, well, which one? So if you hover over it, it'll tell you. So I really like that. No evils adjacent to me. Interesting. 2 is a real lover. So this one is vouching for this one. So that's good. And then if we believe all 3 of these, theoretically, the only option is this one. But we don't take them for word. Confessor is good. This one's good. 1 is good. Okay, see, we have this vouching for this. Now it's interesting. So we have... So this one can't be evil. We have... this one vouching for this one vouching for this one. So logically it should be this one. Aha! Bombardier is the roughest one, because if this is evil, you don't want to take the chance, because if he's not evil and you execute him, you instantly lose because he takes out because he's a bombardier, so he fucking blows up. The 3 character, only 1 is evil. That one sucks. The Empress sucks too, but Confessor is good. Laughing. 2 is good. This bitch just said I am good. This is of 0 utility. 2 just said 2 is good. Liar. We don't trust her. Closest evil is counterclockwise. This bitch could be lying. I'm 2 cards away from the closest evil. This bitch could be lying. 2, 4, 7 is evil. This bitch be lying. No evil. Haha, gotcha, bitch. Twin minion. So now basically means there are 2 evils that you gotta figure out instead of 1. Enlighten, clockwise. Bombardier, rough. 5 is a real hunter. This is huge. 2 evils adjacent to me. See, this makes sense because now she is saying he's evil, but if there's 2 evils and this one is saying they're both evil, then it would make sense for the evil to vouch for the other evil to say like, hey, I'm gonna say you're good, you say I'm good, we're both fine. But it's like if you're both evil, right? So now this is where anything like 2 or more evils is where it starts getting tricky because now you'll have like evil people vouching for each other and you have to figure out like, well, who do I believe now? It's interesting, right? 8 is good. I am good, thank you. Yes. And look at this. There are 2 or more copies of this. In each village, there can only be 1 instance of each character. One of these duplicates is probably evil. See? Now this one is interesting because no one is vouching for her. But you know what this tells me? This bitch is vouching for this one. So these 2 could be evil. Ah, gotcha. Idiots. So important question here. When you get married, are we all invited? If I ever get married, I'll stream it, okay? And then you guys can all watch. Good thing, oh yeah, I forgot, sorry, I should have shown. So knight is I can't die. So the knight is the best one because you can just always try to kill him. I can't kill him, so he's the real knight. Done, solved. Kami gotta be invited so he can. I am good. 4 is good. No. 2 is saying truth. Okay. 2 is saying truth. Ha 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 ha! Okay, Uth, Kami is not sleeping. Okay, Kami's doing actually something super important right now, so he gets time off. Okay, he gets time off. Kami could be the way, you don't understand. Four is a real medium. 6 is a real medium. Bro, these 2 could be evil because they're both vouching for each other. This is a closed loop. Closed loop, fuckers. Idiot. Which? This is a rough. This is. 2 is a real bitch? Try killing him now? Real knight? Easy steal is counterclockwise. This is true. Oh yeah, I forgot. Which doesn't allow you to figure out the last card, which is sucks ass because you start missing information. One is saying truth. 4 is saying truth. So it's not him. 4 is saying truth. 2 is saying truth, 3 is saying truth, and 1 is saying truth. So 6 is lying, but 6 is telling the truth. We know this. Because the closest evil, the wretch classifies as evil. He's not evil, but he classifies as evil. So at that point, who's even left? Gotcha. Now you may ask, well, hey, how did you figure that out? You didn't have much information. I fucking guessed it. I'm kind of goated with the sauce like that, you know? Gotta have good intuition, boys. Trusty how. The Slayer is also a great card, because the Slayer you can pick to say, hey, go kill this person if he's evil. The Slayer will only kill someone if they're evil, so you get like a free pass on trying stuff. See? He managed to kill her, which means she was evil. This on stream? What do you mean? Sure. Puppeteer. So how the Puppeteer works, if you didn't get a chance to read it, I apologize, is that it can make this on... Oh, yes, it's on stream. Yeah. Yeah, right now it's just a demo, so it's free right now. The actual game, when it comes out, will be paid. But the demo you can download for free, so it's quite good. And the demo is like a decent bit of hours, like, especially because like this gets kind of convoluted. So like you can play it for a while. You know, it's nice. Oh yeah. Did I say stream again instead of Steam? I apologize. Fuck. What about? No worries, Chris. Have a good night, buddy. Four, 8 is a witch. Ooh. This is so funny. She says she's the witch. She says she's a witch, which means one of these two are for sure. And now this is interesting. These two are also contradicting each other. So one of these is evil and one of these is evil. Easiest evil is counterclockwise. This one, yes. I never felt like. Haha. I never felt like. Dun, 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 dun. Baby, still with me. 7 is actually a doppelganger, but so this one is easy enough. 2 cards away from closest evil. Okay, that's a doppelganger, so then we trust this. We know you're good, we know you're good. So these 4 are good. So then there's 2 evils hidden in these 3. 2 away from here would definitely make you evil, because then that would make that out of here. Closest evil is clockwise. This would also make this true. 3 is evil, you're lying. Nice. Chancellor, okay? This one is kind of, this one is another evil that kind of sucks. All the evils suck ass, okay? They're evil. Very insightful knowledge, I know. There are 2 pairs of evil, there are 2 pairs of evil. They both give the same information, so unlikely that either of these is lying. So this one's been okay, this one's okay. These 4 are okay. So, any plans for the weekend, guys? We're coming up on Sunday now. For some of you guys might already actually be Sunday. Not much. So we have some guests coming over on Saturday, so that's going to be the whole of Saturday. And then Sunday, I'm out all day. I'm gonna leave the house at like 7 a.m. to watch the Formula 1 Grand Prix with some friends at 9. And then 3 o'clock is, I believe, the World Cup. It's either at 3 or... Yeah, I think it's at 3. And then watch that with some friends. Probably be out for a while and then come home at night, pass out, start work. Basically, yeah. Yep. Nice. Two evils adjacent. Interesting. One is a real invite. Well, this is weird, right? Because she says these two are evil, and this one says this one's fine. But then, if this was evil, then this would say this was evil. Do you know what I mean? Because if this was an evil that was hidden, the enlightened would say, oh, well, the closest evil is clockwise. But it's not saying that. Among 1, 2, 3, there are 3 evils. The jester might go! Dude, I bought it 1,000! The jester will allow you to pick 3 people, and it'll tell you how many evils there are amongst them. And it just said there are 3 evils. No, I'm gonna start losing now, because because so many characters, it starts getting really tricky. Night is fine. Judge, investigator. Okay, investigator's telling the truth. Now I use the investigator to figure out 2 and 6. 2 and 6 is a villager. We're laughing. So this is fine. 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 Now I use 6 and 7 as a witch. So now I do 6 is lying. I kill you. Gotcha, bitch. Yep. Because she said he's good, which I confirmed with here. So unless both of these happen, if all 3 of these happen to be evil and they were vouching for each other, which can theoretically happen, it's just they'd have to bat 3 for 3 in this closed loop. So he's vouching for him, use this to double confirm, use this to vouch for this. So then the fact that this is saying that this is lying breaks this closed loop and means that this person's probably lying. So it went for her, that's fine. 6 is 7 is a witch. 7 was a witch, you're right. Evils are not adjacent to each other, you're probably also right there. Unless these 2 are evil and they're adjacent to each other. Let's go! Be honest, do you guys think I could find Kira? Oh, this is so good. This is so good. We can use this to confirm this. We can use this to confirm the judge. The judge can confirm this judge. This judge can confirm this jester. This jester can confirm these 3. There's 1 evil amongst them. So amongst these 3, there's an evil. There's a pair of evils. Fortune tellers, I can do 1 and 3. 3 is... Fucking liar! You bitch! I'm crumbling. I'm crumbling under the stress. I'm dizzy. You are dead. I'm dizzy. You are also dead. Thank you. Whew. 1, 7, or 8 is evil. 7 or 8 is evil. So both of these are pointing to 7 or 8. Now gesture. We use this to confirm this, and this. Gesture is evil then. Because 3 can't be evil. This is a lie. Liar. So 7 or 8 is a chancellor. 1, 7 or 8 is evil. Correct also. So this is fine. 3 is good. I agree. 3 is also good. I agree with you. And 1 card away. 1 card to 2. You're lying. Gotcha, bitch. Dude, the Rambler is my fucking hated character. Rambler. I tell you something really interesting and useful. This motherfucker says nothing useful, okay? Adjacent truthful characters tell me to shut up instead of sharing their info. So you can ask someone, like, you could have a slayer beside them and be like, hey, go kill that person. And they're gonna go, instead of trying to kill them and figure out if they're evil or good, they're gonna go, shut up! And that's it. It's literally the most annoying fucking character in the entire game. Oh my god. Dizzy, you're dead. Like, see, instead of telling me if someone is evil, she just says shut up. Because this guy won't shut the fuck up. The longer something takes, the longer it feels. Like, this like, what is this sentence? You're an idiot. Interesting, because she says one of these two is evil, and he says one of these two is evil. They can't both be right, unless it's 8. It's not 8, so one of these two is wrong. The 50-50 now. Idiots. The knight is so easy to figure out. I can just kill him. Puppet is 1 card away from the closest evil. Yeah, obviously, idiot. Hi, Bog. The game's name is Demon Bluff. I've been super enjoying it. Can't recommend it enough. It's free. The demo is free on Steam right now, so if you want to check it out, feel free. You see, look, I've gotten being annoying down to a science. Yeah, you have, you motherfucker. So now he says shut up instead of telling me some useful stuff. So it's just evil counter. Okay, probably. Okay. Okay, both sides are equally evil. Stop! I'm so stupid! See, the gesture is supposed to tell me how many of the 3 people I picked as evil. It just tells me to shut. God, the Rambler is so fucking annoying. How many days till the load on game launch? I don't know. It's like I have no idea when the release date is. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. August 21st, so 5 weeks. Shit. Oh, I'm so fucked. Ran out of health. Alright, let's go until I lose my last 2 healths and then we'll call it, okay? Slayers. Damn, I disguised as a random villager, not a player. I'm corrupted and I lie. I cannot be cured. The drunk is so annoying. Jesus. You said Lumi has 4 pathways? I was being facetious. 7 is a real lover, thank you. But there's only like 7 and there's like 2 evils. This is so bad. No, Harsh, he's not caught up. Stop telling him. Is he ever gonna read COI though? I don't know. From the sounds of it, probably not. I don't know. Successful people are better people. True. That's why the best person in the world is Elon Musk. This is known. Alright guys, let's call it there. Alright. Alright, that's been what, a 2.5 hour stream? That's good night. Yeah, let's call it there. That's a pretty good night, right, dude? I'll listen to the Wiz audiobook, maybe. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. I'm only missing 10 chapters of COI. I was missing like 50 chapters of Lodom, so only like 10. Huge. Huge upgrade, you know? 5 times less. If you think about it, at this rate of River Insanity, I'll only be missing 2 chapters. Alright, that's it. Guys, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. We'll go from there. We'll keep going. We're at chapter 1000. That's what? 180, 90 chapters left or something? Okay. Alright. Good night, guys.